Okay, I was watching this Major League Baseball game of the week on YouTube, and I couldn't believe how bad the announcers are on the YouTube sports events. It's not just this one. This was a pretty bad one. Sometimes they have a gal on there that just can't stop talking. But here's some of the comments on here. Turned out it wasn't just me that was amazed by the announcing. Is the YouTube Game of the Week a tryout for awful announcers? These guys were awful. I could only make it through half an inning. We get some replies. Women calling games and a British commentator. This crew sucked. Okay. I'm sorry, Mariners and Blue Jays. This game is unwatchable. I tried, but I just can't do it. It's not your fault. You're both interesting teams. But this broadcasting team is the worst yet for any of these YouTube games. And that is really saying something. Brian Kenny is to broadcasting what Rob Manfred is to commissioning. Get 52 likes on that. Previous games they've used Scott Braun, and he's also completely awful to listen to. But this disaster was unbelievable. If this were a televised broadcast, the producer would have given Brian Kenny the hook after a couple innings and let the rest try and salvage the commentary. These announcers were more engaged with their conversations and storytelling than calling the game. That was painful, annoying, and bordered on unwatchable. No, it was unwatchable. Please don't have 4 commentators again. It just makes the commentary awkward. Alligator Shoe says, this was the worst broadcast of a Major League Baseball game I've ever seen. Great game. It took the announcers 8 or 9 innings to call any action. Forget mentioning any Mariners players up to bat or giving any play-by-play insight. It's clear they had a list of things they wanted to talk about that had nothing to do with the game. And they didn't care there was a game happening until it got ultra competitive. And why was the crowd basically muted? It's sports. We're fans watching, joining in on the live fan experience. Underwater Levels says, was Brian Kenny high on amphetamines? I'm not asking as a joke. I'm being sincere. He sounded manic, was all over the place, couldn't focus on the game at all, talked over everyone, and was over the top obnoxious all game long. I thought YouTube's Scott Braun was awful, but holy cow, Brian Kenny was a nightmare. Hire some decent commentators. I'm going to like that comment there. I mean, it just goes on and on. And in a lot of their games, just terrible. The commentators are just terrible. I mean, these comments go on and on. It's incredible.